Have you ever found a ruined place and wondered if it could still grow? A broken fence, a patch of dirt where children once laughed, a forgotten garden that remembers better weather. Stay with me, because this story will ask you to decide what you will do with the ground you inherit, bury it, or plant in it. The garden sat behind an old house no one cared for. Weeds wore crowns where roses once stood. A stone bench lay half swallowed by roots. If you have ever tried to make something whole out of what was broken, hit like. So another dreamer finds this wisdom. They called the place the spare lot. It had been many things: a celebration place, a market, a refuge. Now it was a rumor. Kids ran past it. Dogs marked its corners. Men with steady jobs crossed the street to avoid its memory. Among those who passed each day was June. Not loud, not famous, not rich. Just a woman with hands used to work and a head full of questions. She carried a small canvas bag and a stubbornness that refused to be tidy. June grew up on city stoops. She learned two trades: to patch what tears and to keep faith when the rent was due. She believed in small things: a boiled egg given with care, a broom that finds cobwebs, a hand that shows up. One morning, she stopped in front of the spare lot and did something everyone thought foolish. She opened her bag and pulled out a jar of seeds. She stepped through the broken gate. People laughed at first. "Why bother?" they said. "It'll be weeds by the weekend." June did not answer. She planted. She planted rose. She planted odd things: a herb a friend taught her, a cutting from the old woman on Maple Street, a seed saved from the neighbor's picnic. She dug with a borrowed spade and set stones in a rough line to mark a path. Days did not bring a miracle. They brought small proofs: a root that did not rot, a sprout that pushed up through grit. June watered at dawn when the air was thin. She fed soil with kitchen scraps, with shredded paper and coffee grounds, with the polite leftovers others threw away. She whispered to the ground the way old people whisper to sick children, steady and soft. Slowly, the spare lot learned to listen. Storms came. They came hard. Rain hammered the patch. The path washed away. Someone stole a scarecrow. A neighbor's fence sagged and fell into the plot. Critics multiplied like moss. "You waste time," they muttered. "You waste water. You waste hope." June learned to fix storms the way she fixed roofs. She built raised beds. She tied cloth over seedlings on wet nights. She stood in wind and held a beam while the fence took shape again. Friends began to arrive, not many and not always at once. A teenager who wanted a place to think. A retired truck driver with a laugh and aching knees. A mother with two small boys who loved digging more than they loved breakfast. The plot changed shape because more hands arrived. Each hand brought a different kind of hurt and a different kind of love. They brought ashes, layoffs, broken vows, a diploma delayed, a shop that closed. They brought their sorrow in quiet bowls. June taught them a new way to use it. "Ashes feed roots," she said, "or they can hang on your shoulders. Your choice." They chose soil. The work was not magic. It was method. Mix, wait, water, tend, repeat. June taught patience like a trade. She taught 1-minute rituals: a bend to pull chickweed, a breath to listen to a seed, a hand to bury a dead stem and say thank you. She taught people to make small promises to their patch of earth and keep them. And the garden answered. Greens stitched across broken ground. Beans climbed like small ladders. Sunflowers turned their heavy faces to the sun. Tomatoes swelled into round red rewards. The stone bench became a meeting place. The path led not just to plants, but to conversations. Old grudges softened, fresh jokes passed around like cutlery. Neighbors who once crossed the street now brought extra compost. The barista brought coffee grounds. The schoolteacher brought class projects. A young woman with 2 jobs brought homemade nettle tea for sore hands. The spare lot became a place where failure could be left at the gate and tried again under different rules. Now I ask you, what are you carrying into your plot? Drop one word in the comments. Maybe regret, maybe delay, maybe doubt. Type it. Then tap hype. Not for me, but for the next person who needs to hear this. Small work makes second chances. Hype it forward. so someone else in the dark finds this light. There were nights June feared the garden would not hold. There were months of lean yield. A blight once struck the squash. A dog dug up a bed and scattered seeds like confetti. She wept then, quietly, the way someone snips a torn thread and breathes to begin again. She did not leave. She returned. She stayed. In time, the garden taught a deeper lesson. Second chances are not a single gift. They are a series of small agreements to come back, to clean, to plant, to forgive. A second chance is a daily discipline. People started to notice other changes. The corner bakery began to stay open later because the market traffic increased. Kids who once played on phones now played at the bench between watering. The retired truck driver started helping the neighborhood watch. Little acts multiplied and turned the block into something sturdier. June's hands bore the marks of this life. Nails dark with soil. A scar on her thumb from a careless spade. Sun lines on her wrist like topographic maps of hard afternoons. Her face held a new kind of tired, the good kind that says work was done and meaning was grown. Like this video. Subscribe to Rise Remember Tales for more wisdom. Let's build this community together. Real change, every day. And share this with someone who needs to know their failure can become the soil of their next life. Second chances are not magic. They are habits. Plant them daily. Tend them with stubborn care. And remember, you do not inherit perfect ground. You inherit ground to work. The garden will not fix everything, but it will teach you how to return. And sometimes, that is the most beautiful thing you can grow.